So now we're going to continue on with part 4 and I'm going to draw the labels. So what we want to do with the labels, we want to make sure that these labels here will have maybe something that will indicate the differences here or the value. So I'm not sure what we will do with it. I'll just put in the basic value. You could just play around with it, showing whatever you want to show, for example, the difference or something like that. Anyway, to do this, I want to make sure that it will be drawn after we have drawn this. So how do we know this? Well, we have here this before data set. So what I want to do is I want to add up another one, but this time we'll say here after data set. So we're going to go here. We have to make sure that this is, alright, that's for each loop. This one here will be for the before data set. Say comma. I'm going to say here after data sets, draw. And I'm going to say here again the same chart, arcs, and plugin options. Then what I want to do here is the same object destructuring. I guess we can copy this here above and then put it in there. And of course we might be able to remove some of these things, but we'll just leave it as it is. We'll see later on. So then what I want to do here, we will need the thickness of the bar that we have. So let's go look here, the bar thickness, this constant, we need to apply it in here as well. So now what I want to do here is start working on, well, I guess the same item. Basically, we're doing the same for each loop, where we look as well what we have the min and the max. So I think we can almost grab everything here above. Let's do that all, including the bar thickness that is here. So we have all of that. Then we can do a for each loop with the same min and max logic. The only thing here now is we need to draw stuff here. Well, we need two things. I'm going to first put in and work with the text. We need the cloud bubble first. I'm going to make my own custom cloud bubble that will point out here and make this circle, or not even circle, it's a rounded border with a triangle caret. So to do this, how do we draw this? Well, first thing we're going to say here is ctx.begin path, because I want to say this is a new shape that is independent of anything else. Next, what I want to do here is say what will be the color. I'm going to say ctx.stroke black. Stroke style will be black for now, and later on you can play around with it if you want. Then what I want to do here is I want to make a fill color as well. Say ctx fill style will be black as well. Very straightforward, nothing fancy. Now what I want to do here is create the first rounded shape. So I say here round rectangle. Then in here we'll be using 5 variables: the x starting point, the y starting point, the width, the height, and finally the border radius. So now what I want to do is the border radius is I want to put in a value here of 4 pixels, because the tooltips by default have about a 4 pixel border radius. So then we have this. Then we're going to look with the x and y variable. And I think we can probably get a lot of the logic that we had here same below. So this here is the bar thickness with the x depending on the I value. I'm going to copy this, put it in here, but then instead of the I value I say index 0 for now, because I want to point to this index 0 here, but I want to make sure that I'm this angle here. Very straightforward. So now I have that one. For the y value, I can probably grab the same item or the same logic as well. Let's see here. We can say here the bar thickness, and then you say here the y plus 1 pixel. Put that in there. Change this to 0, and later on we can change that to the y. Then what I want to do here is for the width. So how many pixels in width do we really need for this? Well, in this case, I guess we can say here maybe 10 pixels, or let's say a width of 30 pixels, and then a height of 20 pixels, because our font size later on will be about 12 pixels, so that will be quite decent. So if I do this now and I say here's ctx.stroke and also ctx.fill, it will draw now the shape at a specific location. Alright, interesting. It goes, of course, I realize it will go to the very min value or the 0 value here, but of course we skipped that one, so that's why it doesn't consider yet. So this is how it will look like. But if you see here, maybe you're not satisfied with it, I want to push it a little bit up. So let's do that. Go and say here up. We can say here, we say here +1, I guess we can say here minus, to push it up, minus 10 pixels. And there we are. And the reason why it's 10 pixels is because this here has a height of 20 pixels that we indicate here. So basically the height divided by 2 is 10 pixels, then we are nicely in the center. So in the next video, we're going to focus on the caret. That is the triangle, very similar to this triangle here. We'll attach that to our rounded rectangle.